Hi, and welcome to the Monday tutorial for Some Odd Girl. Today I'm going to be working on a Project Life card, a 4x6 Project Life card, using embossing powder and watercolor paints. We are going to be working with the Bunny Girl Gwen clear stamp set for April, and I'm also going to be using the carrot from the Hip Hop Hooray clear stamp set. And of course, I really want to use the orange bamboo twine that you can find at the Odd and End shop at someoddgirl.com. Now what you're going to be needing is some watercolor paper, and I've cut it down to size of 4x6. And you're also going to be needing some watercolor paints, as well as some water and a soft round brush. And you're going to be needing some Versamark as well as some embossing powder, and I'm using the detailed white embossing powder. Now we are going to start creating our background, and I'm taking the heart from the Bunny Girl Gwen, and I'm just going to stamp rows of hearts all over the 4x6 card here. And it's actually kind of nice that my ink is dirty, my pad, because you can actually see the hearts, so you can see what I'm doing. Worked out great. So now that I have it all there, I'm now going to pour embossing powder all over the 4x6 card, making sure that every heart is covered. And I'm working on a white sheet underneath, that way I can just easily just put it right back on the paper, and then I can put it back into the jar real easy like, and not lose any embossing powder. And there we go. It's embossed. So I'm just going to put it back into my jar, because this stuff is gold. And now I'm just going to heat it, and you have to be careful not to burn it. You'll actually see it turn to a plasticky white look, and that's when you know you're done. And now, because my card needs to cool off, I'm just going to cut my shapes right now. And I'm actually getting kind of good, well, I think so, at fussy cutting. It's hard for me to get used to that because I'm always using the Cameo, but look at me go. I'm doing it. I'm fussy cutting. So there's my shapes, and I already fussy cut Gwen there. I also have a die cut there so that I can stamp my sentiment onto it. But I made a mistake, which was no big deal because all I did was flip over my die cut and just stamp the other side. Redemption. There we go. Oh, I missed. But I was careful to go back, and I got it this time. It was a rough morning. Now I'm just going to punch 2 holes. That way I can slip my bamboo twine through them so that they're hanging off to the side. And now I'm going to do my watercoloring. So I'm just going to dilute my paint. I'm going to start with the sky first. And I'm just going back and forth, or I should say side to side. And always diluting, adding water, and adding paint. And then I'm going to take a Kleenex and just wiping the hearts because it's resisting, so it's easy to wipe off. And then I'm going to go back and get a darker shade of blue and create a gradient and wiping off the hearts as I go along. And the bottom I'm going to do green. So it was a little trickier with the green because I kept wiping off the watercolor paper. And it's kind of a neat thing to do with the embossing and watercolor. You can do so many things with it. But as you can see, I was having a devil of a time trying to get it, and it kept pulling off from the watercolor paper. So I just went back and filled in the spots. And my background is all ready, and I like to have rounded corners, so I just clip the ends there. And now I'm a visual, so I'm just placing everything to see where it goes. And I'm grabbing my bamboo twine and also inking up my sentiment and my card. I just feel that by inking it, it just gives it a much more finished look, so I just use some Distress inks. The top I use blue and the bottom part I use green. And I also noticed that I needed to ground Gwen because she just looks like she's floating there. So I just added some oil pastel and rubbed it in. And I added some dimensionals to the back of my sentiment so it has a pop-up look. And I did not want Gwen popping out, so I just glued her right on. And now I wanted this to be a journaling card, so I needed to stamp on some lines, but I didn't want to stamp on with dark ink, so I used a light gray. And I'm going to do my best to make it straight. I think I can. And I'm not using a block. I'm too brave. I'm bad. Okay, there we go. I think I got it. It looks pretty straight to me. So the next thing I'm going to do is date it for this year for Easter, which is April 20th. I hope I'm not wrong. And I'm just going to test my color because I'm using blue. And that way it blends in better with the background of the sky there. Because I don't want it to take away attention from the sentiment. And now I'm just gluing down the first 2 carrots. They're going to be glued down. And the last carrot is going to be on dimensional, so it's just popping up a bit. And I'm out of frame, and I apologize for that. Oh, I came back into frame. And there is our Project Life card with Bunny Girl Gwen. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for joining me.